Hello. Today we are going to be learning about tracking shots and kinetic shots. The word kinetic means moving, like moving around. So, let's get started. Kinetic shots are when the camera is moved, moving, or repositioned while filming a shot. Tracking refers to two things. One, when the camera is placed on a track so the camera can move smoothly while recording. And two, it refers to when the camera is tracking or following a specific subject, or simply just moving through the scene. It's called tracking because filmmakers would actually use what looks like a mini train track with the camera on a cart that can travel the track smoothly. There are several different ways to travel or track through a scene, so here are some. You have a simple camera track, or just a camera track, which is when the camera moves independently through the scene in likely a straight or a simple curved line. In a shot like what you see there, the camera is moving freely and it does not or is not following a specific subject. In an object or a person tracking shot, the camera is restricted to that specific subject or subjects. And in shots like this, the camera may not follow a straight line anymore because it is following the subject directly. So if they were going through a crowd or it's a bird flying, there's going to be loops and turns and whatnot. One of the most commonly used tracking shots is a C-track or a curved track. That is when the camera moves in an arch-like or C-shaped manner, either following a subject or looking around a scene. In the example you see above, the camera is looking around the scene and the characters happen to be moving while that's happening. Now, that's not to be confused with a panoramic shot, which is when the camera stays in the same place, but is turned 180 degrees or even more, a wider angle. The next type of track is just a circle track. It's just a circular track that goes around the subject, subjects, or a scene, or maybe it surrounds an object. But yeah, it's just a circular track. An overhead track does not refer to it being over someone's head. It just means when the camera is placed above the subject or the scenes. It's not always done from a bird's eye view, which is required to see the top of a human's head. It can be from the view of someone's eyes looking down at their feet, from like a faucet looking down at a sink drain, just overhead the subject or the scene. Next we have the dolly zoom. A dolly zoom is when the camera and the lens are moved concurrently at the same time. It creates the visual illusion of appearing closer or farther, or of shrinking/stretching. Watch what the camera looks like when it does that. The camera lens is zooming in, while the camera itself is being pulled backwards. Now let's see what that looks like visually. As you can see, the lens is zooming in, camera's moving backwards, and in this type of dolly zoom, it makes the room or the area around a subject shrink, and it causes the subject itself to appear closer and bigger. Zooming in and moving backwards equals shrink, so what's the opposite look like? As you can see, the camera lens is now zooming out while the camera is moving forward. And in this type of dolly zoom, it makes the room or area around a subject stretch, and it causes the subject to appear farther away and smaller. So zoom out and move camera forward equals stretch. Zoom in, move backwards equals shrink. It is important to understand that the angles that you use, how a scene was filmed, whether static or kinetic, and of course, the lighting and how much is in focus all contribute to the composition of the scene, which is how the scene is made up or how the shot is made up. And that directly accounts for and influences the beauty, creativity, reception, watchability, and or meaning of a piece of media, which then also influences how that piece of media will be perceived or is perceived visually, mentally, emotionally, other ways by a viewing audience. The next video will focus on aperture, also known as depth of field. Thank you for watching. Glad you stuck around and have a good day, and I love you.